as it affects economic development vis-a-vis national development. We should be also considering some of the policies that are in place that affect some of these areas, because you cannot talk of a proper and ideal development in a better society when there is no equity, when there is not what we might refer to as fair sharing. Fairness is also a factor, because when you look at economic development, when some people are marginalized, some people are being disfranchised, in the event of that, you discover that some people are doing well, others are not. So social justice provides forum for equitable distribution of our national wealth. I know we have some policies in place, and some of these policies, in our own opinion, we are looking at some of these policies could be reviewed, because reviewing them will help us to have what we may call equity in the system. In Nigeria, we are blessed. We have a lot of national resources. We also have what we may refer to as mineral resources. But how well are these things distributed across board? This is one of the cries that the citizens of Nigeria are encountering at the moment. The wealth is there, the resources is there, but how do we distribute them? What are the formulas we put in place? How is the community benefiting from some of this wealth, in quote? So these are some of the things we tend to address when we talk about social justice.
Okay, now talking about still on what you said about the social justice, can you break it down a bit? How do you feel that Nigeria is still battling with issue of racism and issue of segregation at any corner or any point by, and some feel Nigerians, perhaps maybe those who will label as minority or any, do you see social injustice in any of those spheres?
To a large extent, I agree with you, and I will say yes, we still have those issues in place. There is a serious matter when it comes to issue of religion. I will take it from the angle of religion. Religion somehow has divided the policy and their national interests. We also have issues of racism. Racism has come in terms of ethnicity, nationality. Now we are making so much emphasis on where a particular fellow comes from. And then if your fellow is in power, like what is playing out recently in our country, if a fellow from a particular ethnic extraction is in power, it's assumed it's a blessing to that extraction. And so people who are not from that region, who are not from that racism, tend not to benefit to a large extent from the government of the day. So it is now a kind of, that's why we are not talking at the political level. They are doing what they call zoning, zone to east, zone to south, and all of that. All those zoning formula does not really encourage social justice. Though to an extent, one will say, yes, we need to zone it because this extraction have been there, so let it go around. But in course of going around, what are the equitable formulas we are putting in place? What are the parameters we can use as a measure for this measurement so as to ensure that people actually are having them in the quantity and the scale they are supposed to have? So that is a concern to us as a nation. So I feel there is still a great issue regarding racism. There is issue of ethnicity, nationality, what we call it, religion, dividing us in the policy. And as a result, is creating a lot of disconnect and also aiding or avoiding us having a better, equitable system in our country.
But to a large extent, people have tried, as a country, Nigerians have tried to put the issue of religion to the aspect of a personal experience, such that it shouldn't be allowed to interfere with people's lives. So when you say that religion is a dividing factor in Nigeria and several others, I would begin to wonder, are you trying to say that Nigerians should also scrap some religious practices, or that we should not be free to practice the religion that appeals to us as individuals?
But there is no how we can survive as a nation, as a people, without having, of course, the law has made it, the Constitution has made it clear that there is that freedom of association. Religion is one of those things that give us that freedom. And so there is need for us to have that cohesion, that unity. But then I'm saying in the respect